I'm meteorologist Ben Peine with your live local weather show throughout southern Indiana and beyond. And throughout the entire region, we have some wet conditions, of course, that we're talking about. You can see it out your weather window, 10,000. We have some cloud cover across the area. We're going to take it easy and breezy here on a Friday. No reason to hurry. TGIF, everybody. Let me get the camera situated there. And this is what we're talking about. There you can see, once we bring up the radar and satellite right there, just a bunch of rain coming in. We've got batch number 1 that's arriving right now. We might get maybe a couple hour break later this afternoon before batch number 2 arrives late afternoon into the evening time. Let me go ahead and get out of the full screen mode here and hit the pause button. And just kind of look around where we have wet conditions, which is pretty much everywhere throughout the area. Still waiting on some of that rainfall if you're up around Bedford, over to Seymour and North Vernon, but it is kind of cruising your way as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop up the live radar sweep while we wait for some folks to get on board on a Friday, May 22nd. And here you can see the live radar sweep here from the Louisville radar out of Fort Knox. And as we zoom in, kind of a little bit of a break over Louisville right now, just kind of sprinkly there. Starting to see some heavier pockets up here around Salem and Washington County, Indiana. Steady rain, light to moderate for Austin and Scottsburg. Cruising down I-65, just regular wetness over Clark County, around Georgetown and Harrison County and Floyd County. A little bit of a break right there. And then you cruise out westbound 64 into western Harrison County, into Crawford County, and it's sopping wet right now from Carefree to English to Leavenworth. Over the river we go into Brandenburg, and you can see some wet weather there, especially northern Meade County. As we cruise south of the river, pretty wet there over Nelson County there for you guys in Bardstown. And south into LaRue County, looking wet. Hey, it's looking wet for everybody. So again, this is associated with a warm front that's going to be lifting through the area. And the humidity levels will be on the rise and stay elevated through our Memorial Weekend into next week. And with the elevated moisture levels and the high dew points, this is going to give us an ingredient for some daily rain chances as well. Speaking of those dew points, let me see if I can bring those up here real quickly. And we'll bring up the currents. Let's see if the currents can pop up. And we will take, again, if you're new to the program, always a look at your live current conditions, your forecast we'll get to right off the bat here. We've got the fully loaded show. We've got plenty to talk about. Still just a little bit of a Beatles theme with Abbey Road on the River happening through the weekend. By the way, they'll be playing if there are showers out there, rain or shine, for the Beatles Fest at the Big Four Station Park in Jeffersonville. So our current temperatures here are in the upper 50s and lower 60s across much of the region. I am going to try to slap on the dew point here instead of the temperature map and see if we can bring this up here. Dew point. Go over here. High res fill and dew point. So this is the dew point map. Okay, this kind of is a good way to show the warm front that's moving over the area. So we now have dew points in the 60s in Kentucky and 50s in Indiana. So what we're talking about here is basically right about here, I'd say, is the warm front. And anything in green is just the humidity you can feel in the air. And then up here over central and actually much of Indiana, it's still relatively drier air. But all of that green, the green monster, is going to be moving up to the north and giving us a slightly muggy weather pattern for this weekend into next week, and also the ingredient, again, for our daily rain chances. All right, let me go ahead and get rid of that right there. I'm going to bring up the live radar. We'll do a little tour of the radar off and on here this morning. And then we'll also take our live looks outside. We've got your weather trivia, your weather history, your weather jokes, all of the good stuff that we have every day. And here is the cityofnewalbany.com camera. If you ever want to take a look at this, just go to the cityofnewalbany.com, looking over the Sherman Minton Bridge at the overcast conditions and all the raindrops that we have across the area as well. Hey, thanks for popping in the comments. As always, feel free to don't be shy. If you have any weather questions, let me know, and I'll try my best to answer those. And if you have any, or if you just want to shout out where you're watching from, just a good morning or whatever, let us know. Just like Perry Porter here in the comments, enjoying the coffee, a good rainy morning. Yes, indeed. We're on number 2 here. I've got the grumpy cat that says, "I am smiling." So it's grumpy cat because it's Memorial Weekend. Unfortunately, the unofficial start to summertime looking a little wet from time to time. And we've got Beverly Hagist waving to you from across the valley here. And it's been a messy Borden Valley with the Muddy Fork flooding. I got to play Champions Point yesterday, and it was pretty soggy out there. And then we went over to Covered Bridge and watched my son play, and he dropped another 38, which was a very good round. He had the low medalist versus Christian Academy in Austin, I believe. So it was a good round of golf. Hey, Emmanuel, good morning. Big weekend up there in Indianapolis with the Indy 500. We'll take a look and see if we can dodge any of the raindrops for Sunday. Always a fun, huge weekend there. Good morning to Orly and Whitlow. It's raining in Hodgenville and 62 degrees. Not sure how much we've got so far. I'll check later. It's so funny how quickly opinions change. I now have comments of my friends on social media now wanting the rain to stop. But I'd say there's some Kentucky areas that still need some rainfall, though, to rise the water table levels and some of the rivers and lakes throughout the Commonwealth. There's a look toward Kentucky right now from the Indiana side with the Falls of the Ohio.org camera here this morning. And we got Dennis Gregory. Good morning from Bedford, present and accounted for. I saw your comment earlier. You got the walk in this morning. Close call on lunchtime walk, I would say. And Lillian Lasley was 64 degrees in Litchfield, Kentucky. And we got Steve Gibbons in the house here this morning. Light rain, 61 in Brandenburg. And Zach Albertson, low risk for tornado threat today. I would say that it's a very, very low risk in Kentucky, where there is a marginal, what we call a marginal risk. It's level 1 out of 5 in the severe weather risk categories. So I would say that is a super low chance, but we'll take a look at that as well, as there could be a couple thunderstorms that pop up, mainly in Kentucky. Hey, here's some more live current conditions, and we'll get to your forecast here as well. As you can see, we're at 60 degrees at the Extol Media Studios. You get your current conditions. You can click on hourly or daily, and it'll give you the forecast there. Scrolling. Our live stream is up now. Thanks for the subscribe on YouTube. And or just hitting one of those emojis as well on whatever platform you might be watching on. Here is the big old 7-day forecast. I'll get my head out of the way here so you can see the whole thing. So very similar day to day. I've got upper 70s, low 80s. Now, your pick outdoor day, if you want to do some grilling and chilling, I would say tomorrow. I think we may have a shower maybe lingering in the morning hours, but the afternoon looks primarily dry, 79 degrees, comfortably warm. Notice our low temperature stays steady in the 60s. That's an indication that the humidity is going to go up and stay up. When you can't cool off at night, that means you've got some fairly high humidity. And so we hover near 80 degrees or low 80s all the way through next week. And I've got a round of some showers and thunderstorms that will move through on Sunday. That's not meaning a washout, though. And then some periodic showers on Monday. And the trend starts to look like Kentucky maybe a bit wetter than Indiana, and I'll explain that through the next 7 days here in just a second as well. And then nothing organized, but with the humidity levels out there and with some afternoon sunshine, we may have a couple pop-up showers and thunderstorms next Wednesday and Thursday. So this is a drought-erasing weather pattern for much of the region. So as far as the growing season is concerned, that is good news. For the farmers, as long as we don't get too much of a good thing and then the fields flood out, that would be bad. Got the brand new weather story posted there. If you cruise on down, you can see the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center. They are a division of the National Weather Service. Their one big job is to look across the United States and see where severe weather might happen. So you can see through much of Kentucky under this darker green color that is, again, level 1. It's called marginal. And in that area is a small risk. This is 2%. So if you drew a 25-mile wide circle around your house, there's a 2% chance of a little spin-up tornado in that area in Kentucky. Very, very small chance. The severe weather threat overall is on the low side for our region. And that does not include Indiana. That is south of Indiana. So we got you linked up there to the SPC outlooks. Going back to a couple comments. We've got Orleans, and guess some of them just like the weather. We don't like it when it does something too much. Yes, indeed. Alberta Philpott, good morning to you. Connie Kurtzinger, hello to everybody. And Gail Lemons, hope you have a wonderful weekend too. Thanks for dropping in the comments. You can see the regional radar filled up with a bunch of rainfall there. Hey, the U.S. Drought Monitor is updated today. Now, this won't account for a lot of the rainfall that we've had recently. Southern Indiana is definitely out of the drought conditions. It shows a little portion there still left over, but that doesn't account for the last couple of days of rainfall. So no drought in Indiana. Kentucky, though, has still not had enough rainfall. You can see red, that is called extreme drought over much of south central Kentucky. So still needs some rain in the bucket there over much of south central Kentucky. And we will be getting that. No doubt about that. I think that will be pretty much erased by the next drought update. They're updated every week on Thursdays. So that is the drought update. As I cruise on down here, there is the interactive radar map, which has dozens of different weather layers. Here it is popping up right now as we speak. As I back up our view just a little bit, you can always hit play in the bottom left corner, and you can see kind of the motion of what the rain is doing. Go ahead and do that right there. See it kind of slowly sliding to the north with the warm front. And then if you ever want to, the rain thunder tab here is your futurecast. And as we load that up, you can see it matches up with what we have out there now. I'm going to hit the play button, and there you can see this is going through this afternoon. More rain. Low pressure system over the top of us. Wet tonight as well. If you have some Friday night plans, keep the rain gear handy. And then this is tomorrow afternoon. We're starting to see that rain slide off to the east. So again, I think largely dry for our Saturday afternoon. And then this is going to go into our Sunday. Looks like this is Sunday afternoon, another little wave of some showers and a few thunderstorms passing through the area. Not expecting severe weather with that. And then this is going into Monday, Memorial Day. And it will also have that front kind of stalled out over the region with a chance for some pop-up showers and thunderstorms right there. That's what those colors mean. We've got temperature maps, wind maps, clear air turbulence maps. If you're wondering where you might feel some bumps in the air if you have some air travel, that's what that means right there. Okay, another interactive map. Again, right here, showing you the rainfall. If there's any watches or warnings or anything like that, those will pop up. You've got those different layers there on the left side as well. Storm tracks, storm reports, all kinds of good stuff right there for you. Again, that's at extolmag.com/weather. Here we go on a Friday morning. We're looking at just a bunch of rain spreading to the north across the area. Some of the heaviest pockets over Nelson County, Kentucky, and parts of eastern LaRue County, Kentucky, and then also Crawford County into Washington County, Indiana at the moment. Leo Klingsmith, and I wonder, who will stop the rain? What is that? Is that Credence? Is that CCR? All right. Speaking of some classical music, it is Abbey Road on the River. So here's a quick forecast for that. For our Friday today, 100% chance of rain. With that said, there might be a couple-hour break this afternoon. Saturday, upper 70s. I've only got a 20% chance. Most of the day looks dry. Sunday, 81 and a 60% chance of some showers. Not a total washout, though. Near 80 degrees. A bit humid out there with some more rain chances for Memorial Day. Britta Boyd, good morning. My part of Kentucky needed this rain so badly. Grateful to see it for the farmers here. And Connie with a thumbs up right there. So this is what I was talking about as well. So this is the trend over the next 7 days. This is the rainfall total. It shows, anywhere from maybe 1 to 3 inches of rainfall over southern Indiana, then some higher amounts of around 3 to 5 inches. So you can see kind of the bullseye in Kentucky, right where there is the extreme drought. So the stationary front gets kind of hung up over Kentucky, Tennessee. So that's like where we'll see a more concentration of periods of showers and thunderstorms. You get farther north away from that stationary front. Notice through the Hoosier State, you start to run out of rain. So drier north, wetter south is kind of the overall picture here over the next 7 days. Hey, CCR. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Leo. And our weather headlines for today. For your May 22nd, happy Friday. TGIF, rounds of rainfall today. I'd say we pick up around a half inch to an inch of rainfall today. Mostly dry Saturday. And then showers Sunday into Monday off and on, and a bit unsettled for next week. I'm thinking our next all dry day might be Friday next week, a week from now. The play ball forecast, again, rounds of rain, 65 at noon, 72. We'll probably do it for a high. Not even though we have a warm front lifting to the north with all the clouds and the showers, we're probably not going to have a significant warm up. You'll notice the humidity increasing hour by hour, though, and an east-southeast wind at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. All righty, moving along here on a Friday. Gonna load up something else here. Let me get rid of this and add this and move over to this. Directing traffic here with what we got here. Hey, once again, we want to thank you for watching. We want to thank our partners as well at Lions Roofing for powering our Extol weather radar here. 812-294-3595, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. If you get any leaky roof or any problems, any storm damage, if you just need a new roof, you can have them check it out. You can see free quotes here online at lionsroofingco.com. You can see their services, their reviews, commercial or residential, on both sides of the river. They got you covered. And your education partner here is they're heading into their summer sessions. It's Ivy Tech Community College. You can head to campuses, head to Sellersburg, and boom, they got you linked up to all kinds of stuff. And you see their Ivy experience right here. They are growing every time I drive by there, which is almost every day there at 311 and I-65, 9 miles north of the river of Louisville. You can see all the construction going on there as they're building the Baptist Health Urgent Care Facility and then also the Family Scholar House for single mothers. Again, making education accessible to those that are wanting to level up, and you can do that at Ivy Tech. All right, hey, your plumbing partner here. If you have any issues, anytime, keep them in mind. Clogbusters Plumbing Services throughout Kentucky, 859-762-1214. They're kind of centralized in central Kentucky, but they can go long range and help you out. You can see their services as well with their easy-to-use website, and they may have some financing solutions to keep you at ease. Clogbusters with a Z, plumbing.com. Your planting partner, hey, if you want to break from the rain, head into their nursery. Take a cruise around their tropical plants this time of the year. And it has been Tree Week, 50% off their cherry and apple trees if you want to head in there. Hey, 30% off roses and tropical hibiscus shrubs this weekend. They've got some deals. There's their 50% off the apple trees, weeping cherry trees, dipladenia hanging baskets, if I said that right. And they still got a bunch of roses there as well. And for your insurance needs, amfam.com, search Michael Long, this guy right here. Proud to be an American Star Certified Excellence in Customer Experience. If you want to get an insurance quote, hey, let them know I sent you, 812-578-3072. And for any of your realty needs, go to loprealtors.com, search me. You don't even have to search it. Just go to our agents. You're going to find me, and I'd love to spark up the conversation, make it a fun process for you if you're buying or selling. If you're ready to build a home, keep this dude in mind right here, Brad Weddington of Weddington Custom Homes. All right, let's get into the show here this morning as quick tour of the radar, and then we are going to dive into all the weather maps, high-resolution weather model data, planning out the rain chances through the holiday weekend and through next week into the long range, into June even. So still waiting on that rain to move into Bedford and parts of northern Jackson County, Indiana. But we've got that rain from Crothersville to Austin to Scottsburg, arcing into Salem, over to Livonia, Paoli, just west of Palmyra. The heaviest rain coming down around Milltown and English, there for you in Crawford County, Kentucky, down to Carefree, Leavenworth. Over the river we go into near Brandenburg, just a little bit of light rain, the heavier rain in northern Meade County. As we cruise to the southeast of Louisville, you've got the heavier rain coming down from Bloomfield to Bardstown to New Haven there through much of Nelson County. Otherwise, it's sprinkly, it's drizzly, and this is kind of our first batch of rainfall for today. Let me fire up the quick check of the HRRR weather model, and just to give you kind of an idea of what the rest of today looks like. Again, there might be just a little bit of a break later this afternoon, so maybe not a complete washout. Let me back this up to basically right now as this loads up. A SIP from the Grumpy Cat coffee cup today. Leo saying, can't recall if we have ever had this many consecutive days of rain, and it just begins. So this is now, it's got the first batch over us, picking up very well on what we have out there. This is at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. So there you go. Maybe we got a window as folks are getting off work late afternoon of some dry time. With that said, we go into the late afternoon and evening hours, and then we've got this on the way. And that's when in Kentucky we might have a couple stronger thunderstorms. This is at around 7 p.m. There we go. That's a lot of rain right there, my friends. And this could cause some localized flooding, too. If some areas get some what we call training thunderstorms, where they're just kind of sitting over the same areas, would not be surprised if we end up with a flash flood warning in a couple spots. This is at around 8 to 9 p.m. as this low pressure system moves along the stationary front. Just a wet solution there. But again, we might get maybe a couple hour window of mostly dry conditions kind of mid-afternoon, kind of between the two waves of wet weather, and then some thunderstorms in the mix as well. Oh, isn't that fun? And this is a look at today's rainfall total potential. And this shows 1 to 2 inch amounts possible. Some areas a little bit less. Just depends if you get on some of those heavier showers and thunderstorms. So that shows anywhere from a 1/2 inch to 2.5 inches of rainfall today. All right. Let's go to our weather graphics there, since I gave you an idea what's happening for the rest of today. And I'm going to bring up, real quick. Again, this is the Storm Prediction Center's severe weather risk. Best chance for some storm chasing, northern Texas, southwestern Oklahoma, but the Storm Prediction Center does have us under a marginal risk in Kentucky, but not southern Indiana. Low risk of a couple severe thunderstorms in Kentucky. Just wanted to point that out there. And then let me get over to this right here. Just a quick reminder, too, if you ever have any advertising or marketing that you would like for your business or organization, you can hit us up, Ben at extolmag.com or Jason at extolmag.com. Or if you want to talk real estate, I'm a real estate agent as well, b.peine at loprealestate.com. All right, we're going to get into the full show now. Oh, thanks, Perry Porter. Brad Weddington. I think you know Brad Weddington. He says hi to you to put up some barn doors here to separate the kitchen from the living room. Wouldn't mind if it was snow. I'm going to say a big no to that, my friend. Ryan has got a outdoor event in Louisville tomorrow around 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. I think, Ryan, you're going to be okay. I'm going to give you a thumbs up on that event. I think maybe a morning shower, but I think we're again largely dry tomorrow afternoon. I think tomorrow is the pick day, so you guys picked the good day to do it. Fantastic there. All right, again, Abbey Road on the River, 100% chance of rain today, low 70s, upper 70s, low 80s for the rest of our Memorial weekend, and a bit humid out there. Dew points are going up. And so just a 20% chance of that rain Saturday. I think that's, again, mainly in the morning. So, again, Ryan, you're in good shape there. And then Sunday and Monday, some periods of some showers and thunderstorms possible. Appreciate the question. Thank you. And there you can see the trend over the next 7 days. I showed this a second ago. Heavier over Kentucky, a little bit lighter as you go north of the river as far as total rainfall amounts over the next 7 days. But inches of rain could be possible. That'll completely erase any drought conditions. Mostly dry tomorrow, showers Sunday and Monday, and a bit unsettled next week. And again, like you saw Ryan there, if you're new to the program, don't be shy. If you've got a weather question, happy to answer that for you. So 65 at noon, 72 at 3 p.m., upper 60s at 6 p.m., and east-southeast wind at around 5 to 15. As we saw, it's 50% off the weeping and cherry trees, and they've got more deals this Memorial weekend at Grantline Nursery and Garden Center. Okay, we've got to go with the theme here, which is the Beatles weekend and Indy 500. So what was the hottest Indy 500 on record up at Indianapolis? Was it A, 89, B, 91, C, 92? And we'll get to the answer and some more Indy 500 trivia here in just a second. So A, 89, hottest Indy 500, B91, or C92. Feel free to drop in a guess, or maybe you know it, in the comments. Memorial Day, of course, is just 3 days. Indy 500 in 2 days. Summer begins in 30 days. We got a guess of C from Perry Porter, B from Beverly Higgins, and A from Connie Kurtzinger. We got an ABC already. Summer begins in just 30 days on the 21st of June, July 4th, in 43 days. Average temperatures drop, meaning we're past what is typically the hottest part of the year, in 79 days. That's around August 9th. We got a guess of C from Emmanuel, C from Orlean Whitlow. Some of you are correct. And the answer, after our stupid jokes of the day, our Beatles jokes of the day. Look at all this weather history for today. I'm going to try to rapid fire this. 18. Wow, we got a lot here. From the 1876 to 2011. So I'm going to take a sip from the Grumpy Cat. And then here we go. All right, a lot of weather history here for today. 1876, Denver, Colorado was drenched with 6.5 inches of rain in 24 hours, an all-time record. In 1893, farms near Darlington, Wisconsin vanished as an EF5 tornado swept them away. 3 people killed. 1933, a multi-vortex tornado that was nearly a mile wide, probably an EF5, killed 8 near Tyrone, Nebraska. 6 fatalities from the same family. 1948, a rare early-season hurricane struck Hispaniola, killing 80 people. 1986, a devastating hailstorm hit the Sichuan province of China. Reports indicate up to 100 people were killed, 35,000 homes destroyed. 1991, severe storms bring a weak tornado, damaging winds, and flooding rains to southern portions of central Indiana. Anybody remember that one? 1995, cantaloupe sized hail was reported in Preston, Kansas. That's the largest I've ever heard. 1996, collapsing nighttime thunderstorms in Oklahoma caused a large heat burst that made temperatures rise over 100 degrees at midnight. Those are interesting. You should Google that. Heat bursts. 2004, one of the world's widest tornadoes with a maximum width of about 2.5 miles struck Hallam, Nebraska, EF4 strength. 2011, Joplin, Missouri was struck by a devastating EF5. I remember that one. 158 lives were taken, making it the deadliest tornado since the Woodward tornado family in 1947. The tornado was a half-mile wide, stayed on the ground for 7 miles, destroying a hospital and hit a populated area there in Joplin. So now we need some jokes after all that crazy weather history. Steve guessing C. All right, here we go. Which Beatles member is always in a rush? George Harrison. Which Beatles member is yellow and sour? John Lemon. How did Red Bull break up the Beatles? It gave McCartney wings. Of course, Paul McCartney started Wings after the Beatles. There you go. Your Beatles-related jokes, because it is Abbey Road on the River at the Big Four Station Park in Jeffersonville through Memorial Day. And the answer is, hey, all of you C's, and there were a lot of C's there. So Perry, Porter, Emmanuel, Orlean, Steve, all were correct, with 92 degrees being the hottest Indy 500 back in 1937. Now, the coldest was 58 degrees back in 1992, and the wettest was 3.8 inches in 2004. And then the last time we had a really hot one, 91 back in 2018, and I think I was at that one because I remember it was hot. And it was amazing every time you see those Indy cars zipping by you at like 200 miles per hour. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't feel like real life. Beverly Higgins loving the jokes. Orlean loving the jokes. Lily Lasley loving the jokes. And we're moving on here to low levels of pollen today because of the rainfall. As we get some drier periods and it warms up a little bit, I think we're back to a moderate range with the tree and grass pollen for Saturday and Sunday. Orlean reporting 2.5 inches of rain since yesterday morning, and altogether over 3 inches. That is a big dose of rain there in LaRue County, Kentucky. Thank you for the report. UV index, nothing. There's all the clouds out there. I'll tell you what, I did get some sun yesterday, even though we had cloudy conditions. You can still get, if you have no sunscreen on and you're outside, there was a little bit of sun coming through the thin clouds yesterday up at Champions Point Golf Club. Got a little bit of sun yesterday. 72 today, rounds of rainfall, cloudy and mild, east-southeast wind around 5 to 15, our sunset at 8:53. And tonight, 65 degrees. So again, if you can't cool off at night, that means it's humid. So the lowest we go is 65. Showers continue tonight. South wind at around 5 to 10. Sunrise at 6:26 tomorrow. Here's the plan for your Saturday. There might be a lingering shower in the morning, but I think most of tomorrow is dry. 75 at noon, 79, I should say, for the afternoon high. And hopefully we'll see a peak of sunshine. We've had a lack of sun here lately. 80 is our normal high now, and our normal low 61. Sunrise 6:26, sunset at 8:54. Okay, here we go with the 7-day forecast. 81 Sunday. Everything looks kind of the same. We're kind of hovering in lower 80s, nighttime lows in the 60s, humid, with a daily chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Again, this doesn't mean it's a washout. It's not going to be raining the entire time. Again, a lot of tomorrow is dry. I think we have some windows of dry time Sunday, but some occasional showers and maybe a thunderstorm. Monday, same deal. Tuesday, same deal. And then it's more kind of a more isolated pop-up variety Wednesday, Thursday. Getting maybe a little bit more warmth next Thursday and Friday, up around 84 degrees. So there you go. There's the big old 7-day forecast. Let's get into some of the weather model data. We'll get into your long-range outlook and into the very nerdy weather portion of the show here as well. So bringing back to the stage is another live look at the radar sweep. We call it KLVX out of Fort Knox. It is the National Weather Service radar. So light rain over Louisville right now. We still have much of Harrison County that's pretty dry. The steadiest rain is over Crawford County, northern Perry County, northern Meade County. Pretty wet here over northwestern Harrison County from Milltown to Hardinsburg, up to Livonia, just west of Salem to Campbellsburg, and then moving into Crothersville, pretty wet over Scott County and into Jefferson County, pretty wet over most of the area. Hey, Dennis Gregory is still dry up there in Bedford, though. Still got some dry weather there. As we cruise down into Kentucky, pretty wet from Frankfort down to Bloomfield, down to Bardstown. And then just some steady light rain for Hardin, Grayson, Hart, Greene, Taylor, Adair, and Marion counties. That includes Lebanon, Campbellsville, Greensburg, Columbia, Munfordville, Litchfield. All our friends down that way that are tuning in this morning. Good morning to you guys. Okay, let's go to, we looked at the HRRR weather model. Let's fire up the NAM 3-kilometer weather model. It is another high-resolution weather model. And I am going to pop up that, click on this, click on this, click on that. And here we go on a May 22nd. So this should fire up the data. It's showing the data just fine right there. Perry. So there's an indication that we could have a strong El Nino. As you mentioned, the hurricane season beginning June 1st. And also I-65 closure June 1st. So that'll be a storm on the interstates here very soon. But a strong El Nino, I think, can actually lead to a lower hurricane season. So maybe it'll be fairly tame when it peaks in September. The August, September, October is the peak of hurricane season. Okay, here's noon today. Waiting for the data to load up. Pretty widespread rain across the area through early afternoon. Going to 1 p.m. snapshot right there. Hey, Connie, thanks for dropping in the comments and being part of the show here. You have a great weekend, too. This is at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., and then if you remember, the HRRR, the HRRR weather model, gave us a little bit of a break around 4, 5 o'clock, maybe like a 3 to 5 p.m. time period. Not totally dry, but a little window maybe of dry time between the two waves of really wet weather. So this is wave number 1 right here. Then we got wave number 2 right here. Number 2, late afternoon into the evening, may spark a few stronger thunderstorms, especially in Kentucky. So let's watch wave number 2 slide to the north a little bit later today. There's that kind of little window of maybe a break in the rain. And then here we go to 7 o'clock. This one's maybe just a little bit slower than the HRRR, bringing in that next batch of rain into the evening time. Here's 8 p.m. Either way, you can see a lot of colors on the future radar view. indicating plenty of rain chances throughout the rest of our Friday. This is at 10 p.m., so scattered showers and thunderstorms continuing through late tonight. This is 11 o'clock. Here is midnight tonight. All right, so scattered showers through the overnight. I'm going to go here to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you're up and out early, it still shows a chance for some morning showers. This is around 7 to 8 o'clock as we have the stationary front just lingering around the area. So going to keep some rain in the morning time. And then here's 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. There you go. Dry conditions. I think we're in good shape tomorrow afternoon, keeping that rain chance a little bit in the morning time. Temperatures are going to be 70s, low 80s. This is the future dew points. So what we have happening today is the warm front lifting north, spreading Gulf moisture all over the region. So check it out here. You have the source, the tropical air right here. And we have a south flow coming right into our region. And with that said, you're going to feel the humidity on the rise. These are some pretty high dew points that are going to stick around and make it sticky out there. Now, temperatures aren't going to be hot. It's just going to be comfortably warm, but there is going to be an elevated level of humidity in the air to feed our periods of rain through the holiday weekend. Okay, let me get back to, let's go to the NAM weather model and see how far out we can go, which is always 84 hours. But I'm gonna go into tomorrow afternoon where we're looking pretty dry. So this is 5 p.m. tomorrow. So again, pretty good here for your Saturday. I think this is a good time for outdoor plans for the weekend. Looking ahead here, we've got another little area of low pressure that's going to kind of ride along the stationary front. This is our Sunday. There's differing timings on when we get this Sunday. The GFS has the chance by morning. This has it later in the afternoon. Either way, pretty good chance that we'll have a round at some point moving through on Sunday. That is at around 11 p.m. on Sunday. Now we start to go into our Memorial Day. Stationary front still lingering across the area, close enough to give us some showers. But notice the more concentration of showers over Kentucky than Indiana overall for Memorial Day. Oh, let's go back to Sunday, by the way. So this is around 2 p.m. for the Indy 500. And then this is at 5 p.m. Now, again, that is the NAM weather model. As I bring up the GFS weather model to 2 p.m., it does show a rain chance there at 2, and then the rain moving east. So what can we say about the Indy 500? There is a chance for some rain, but hopefully we've got a pretty good window at some point to get the big race in. So I would say fairly optimistic that we'll be able to get it in. All right, now we're going to stick with the GFS weather model here and cruise through next week. Since we're looking at the longer range data, it is now time for the good old Ben on a limb. If you don't mind pause, just hitting one of the emojis or a like or a subscribe or a follow. We appreciate the support on the whatever social media platform you might be watching from. Maybe even extolmag.com/weather. Fed by YouTube. Our YouTube page, if you want to search that and bring it up big screen on your wall in your living room, EXTOL, and then media. You'll find us there. All right, here we go. So this is our Sunday going into our Monday with the GFS weather model. It does show wetter conditions overall in Kentucky, and a little drier in Indiana. So here's the deal. We've got a stationary front hung up to the south. All right, and so Indiana overall, as we saw early on in the show, the farther north of the river you go, the drier the conditions are in the long-range forecast. South of the river, wetter conditions. All right, we move forward to the 26th. We are heading back to work after the Memorial Day holiday. This is 2 p.m., and it's the same kind of picture. Kentucky, a better chance than Indiana overall, but still some rain chances here into next Tuesday, the 26th. And as we pop up the dew point map, it is humid. all around the region. Back to the reflectivity. I'm going to go to the 27th of May. This will be our last week of May. And it shows a little pop-up shower, thunderstorm. I've got it set around a 30% chance of rain Wednesday, just because we have the mugginess, the humidity, and sometimes you can just get a random pop-up in the afternoon. Okay, into the 28th. That would be a Thursday. I got us at about 84 degrees and a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms. I think better chance Kentucky, lower chance Indiana overall. Into the Friday, the 29th. It has this front moving southwest. Friday, I've got dry. Finally, all dry. It looks like notice the punch of drier air moving in here. So the setup Friday, it's kind of a backdoor cold front is what we call it, as we get a push of drier air dropping in from the northeast, kind of the opposite direction. So pushing the muggy air southwest. So the source of moisture and pop-up showers and thunderstorms moving southwest of us. We might get some kind of a refreshing air, dry day next Friday, a week from now. How long that lasts, time will tell. But next Friday, I've got dry. I'm just kind of looking into our last weekend of May right here. It looks like some nice dry air is still in place next Saturday. We bring up the reflectivity, which is the rainfall. And it's all dry next Saturday. So maybe our final weekend of May is actually looking really nice. So hopefully that trend continues here with the long range outlook. This is our last day of May. I believe that's a Sunday. And it's all dry there. I think a lot of us will be wanting that dry pattern next weekend if we can get that to continue. Okay, into June 1st. It shows dry conditions June 1st, going into June 2nd to our first week of June. Shows a little shower chance June 3rd. What temperatures are like here. Let's go back to our temperature map to June 3rd. Kind of normal warmth, it looks like. June 4th, 327 hours out with the weather model. Warm and quiet there, June 5th. Climatological summer is June. In the weather world, in meteorology, we keep track of the seasons by months instead of like specific dates. So like June, July, August is considered summer in record keeping in the weather world. So, and still my favorite season, summertime. And my son, Brady, who's behind these barn doors right here, is first day of summer for him. Congrats to all those students that are now enjoying summertime. All right, this is about as far out as the GFS weather model is going to go. It is 375 hours out. Really hot stuff out west. It's got hundreds over the plains. We are not looking as bad. Just not a bad start to June for us if that continues. Okay, let's fire up the Climate Prediction Center, and we'll wrap up a Friday show. Oh, let me look at one more thing here. Let me go back to the GFS all the way out. This is going to be the total amount of rainfall over the next 2 weeks. And I still want to change the color palette here because it's kind of weird looking. Make it look more like rain, green, but so this shows like, 2 to 3 inches of rain. Some models are a little heavier than that. I'll show you another one here in just a second. Beneficial rains. A lot of us are going to get tired of it over the next couple of weeks. Speaking of rain, back to the live radar sweep. Told you we'd just kind of take it easy and do a tour of the radar every now and again, and then we'll do a forecast recap for you as well. All righty. Still got a little light rain over Louisville. Still a little bit of a break over Floyd County and around PRP and Valley Station. You've got the soggy conditions continuing from Hardinsburg to Milltown to English to Birdseye. to Paoli. There over parts of Orange, Western Washington County, Crawford County, southeastern Du Bois County, very wet. Arcing up into the Muscatatuck River, East Fork of the White River, Scott County, west, and into Jefferson County, Indiana, wet. You get another batch of some heavier rain coming down Bardstown to Bloomfield and Nelson County up through Spencer County around Taylorsville. Soggy there in Bullock County and up into Franklin County around Frankfort and eastern Shelby County. That's kind of the way it's going to look today. All right, we'll go ahead and get off of this map. I think we're done with that. And another live look with the Falls of the Ohio.org camera. I think we're equally cloudy across the area. I don't think we're going to see a peak of sunshine today. I doubt it. If we did, it would be that kind of mid-afternoon break in rain if we can get a little bit of a break. And you can always go to the cityofnewalbany.com camera and take a look at this camera view here along the riverfront, the amphitheater, and over the Sherman-Minton Bridge. They're looking from downtown New Albany with the cityofnewalbany.com cam. All right. Good day to probably do some choring inside today. You've got time to do it. Not the best to be out mowing, of course. All right, let's get back to the forecast recap here for you guys. Just a reminder, too, any of your advertising, marketing, or real estate solutions, you can easily contact me via email, ben@extolmag.com, b.peine@loprealestate.com, or jason@extolmag.com. And it is the Beatles Fest, Abbey Road on the River, now through Memorial Day. Today, 100% chance of rain, but they're going to play in the rain as long as there's not lightning. So keep it rocking with some rain gear out there. And then tomorrow looks mostly dry, especially in the afternoon. Might be a lingering shower in the morning. Sunday, Monday, some periods of rain, but not washouts. And overall looks drier in Indiana than Kentucky into next week. Steve Gibbons says it's going to be a challenge to get the grass cut over the next 7 days. I hear that challenge very well because the grass is really tall. And I don't bag the grass. I just kind of mow over it a couple times if it gets too tall. So I might be like mowing a couple times. Aureline, will you be on Monday? Have a wonderful weekend. I do plan on being on Monday as we track some more rain across the area. And have a good weekend there to Lily Lasley. And there's, again, kind of the 7-day trend of, you can see heavier rain in Kentucky and then lighter rain as you go north of the river overall. But it does show a potential of kind of within the entire area of 1 to 4 inches overall. Pamela Nolan, thank you very much. You're our sunshine when there is no sunshine. We appreciate you. You as well. Back at you. Here's the weather headlines here. Rounds of rain today, dry Saturday, showers Sunday, Monday, and a bit unsettled as we saw with the weather models through next week. The play ball forecast, we're probably not going to be much outdoor playing ball today. 72 degrees, nearly a washout today. A reminder, 50% off your apple and cherry trees, some hanging baskets, 30% off some other items. Good day to beautify your yard and house at Grantline Nursery and Garden Center on Grantline Road in New Albany. Our trivia today was what was the hottest Indy 500, 89, 91, or 92? A, B, or C? Sherry is ready for the rain to go away. How quickly our thoughts change on that topic because, again, we forget how dry it was up until now. And then we flip the switch, and now it's too wet. Memorial Day in 3 days, Indy 500 in 2 days. Summer begins in 30 days, July 4th, 43 days, and we're past the hottest part of the year in 79 days. And hopefully we can sneak in the Indy 500 on Sunday between a chance of rain. Look at all that weather history. I'm going to have this up on my Facebook page at noon if you want to take a longer look at it. And our Beatles-related jokes today because of Abbey Road on the River. Number 1, which Beatles member is always in a rush? George Harrison. Number 2, which Beatles member is yellow and sour? John Lennon. John Lemon. How did Red Bull break up the Beatles? It gave McCartney wings. Of course, Paul McCartney created Wings, the band Wings after that. They had some hits, of course, as well. And the answer is C, 92, the hottest Indy 500 back in 1937, the coldest 58 in 92, the wettest 3.8 inches in 2004. Yeah, no burn bans now after all this rain. It's kind of a bummer. It's been a long time since we've had like an outdoor, sitting around an outdoor fire because of all the sogginess, and it's going to take a while for the wood to dry out. I really don't have any wood covered. Low to moderate levels of pollen out there, and the UV index is at a 0 today. Sherry says, we definitely need the rain, but no doubt, but truth be told, I miss the sunshine. Don't we all? 72 and cloudy with rounds of rain today. And tonight, 65. The humidity is on the rise today as this warm front lifts north over the region. And tomorrow's forecast, a few lingering showers in the morning, but I think a lot of the day will be dry. And your 7-day forecast looks kind of similar here. With upper 70s and low 80s. And lows in the 60s. And daily chances of some rain. So there we go. One more time, a thank you to you guys for watching, and a thank you to our partners for allowing us to do what we do here with Extol Weather and Extol Media and Ben Peine, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime, that being your home. And they've got you covered, pun intended, on both sides of the river. If you got any leaky spots after this wet weather pattern, if you got any issues, if you're a builder, commercial, they've got you covered as well throughout Kentucky and Indiana. Call them 812-294-3595 for a quote, or you can also get connected here online. They make it easy for you. And Ivy Tech makes it easy for you, too. If you want the Ivy experience, you can go to ivytech.edu and then go to campuses, go to Sellersburg. They'll take you right here, and you can see all the different things that they have to offer, which are dozens of 2-year certification programs to level up your career. They got their summer sessions beginning. Make sure the high schoolers are plugged in to try to get that dual credit, that free college credit. They can do that at their local high school. But they're there for you at 311 I-5, 9 miles north of Louisville. And we'll be out there live at some point this summer once again. Have a super fun long weekend to you, Sherry, as well. And to our plumbing partners here throughout Kentucky, anywhere in Kentucky, reach out to them, 859-762-1214, or go to clogbustersplumbing.com. Clearing the way one flush at a time. The plumber you want to call is Clogbusters. And again, our planting partner here is Grantline Nursery and Garden Center. You can get landscape consultation. They have a lot of things going on, a rewards program. Open this Memorial Day. 30% off roses and tropical hibiscus shrubs. 50% off apple trees, weeping cherry trees, and dipladenia hanging baskets through this weekend. And for any of your insurance needs, let them know I sent you for a quote. 812-578-3072 is Michael Long. You can call him, or you can go to his page right here for all the information at amfam.com. Search Michael Long. And for any of your real estate solutions, go to loprealtors.com. You can go to About, cruise on down to the P's, and you'll find Piney here. That would be me. If you want to spark up the conversation about buying or selling and see what your options might be happy to start that with you. There's my contact, my phone number, and all that good stuff there. And if you're ready to build a home, hey, here's my buddy Brad Weddington, Weddington Custom Homes. WeddingtonCustomHomes.com is where you can find some more information. And that is kind of a dreary Friday morning right there. Thank you guys for tuning in here on a Friday right before the Memorial holiday weekend. And we'll see you Monday with tracking more weather, of course. And that'll be our last week of May already. June right around the corner. All right, guys, you have a good one. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.